Hello everyone, my name is Ife Oyedele II. I just took a flight with Japa Chronicles, and during the flight I sat next to this
King
two
of Japa
great
himself.
Gentlemen.
I don't know why he's the gentleman.
Mr. Digbo and Mr. Maiwa. And we spoke about everything from Nigeria to politics to life in the US, and just changing systems and structures and everything. It was a wonderful conversation. I'm glad to be here.
You guys are going to love it. Hi guys, welcome back to Japa Chronicles podcast.
Ooh.
I'm your humble host. My outro last season, one guy was here dragging host with me, co-host, this week co-host, But yeah, we've removed him. We don't host that takeover.
Introduce yourself.
Everybody knows me now. They know me.
Introduce yourself.
They know me. Hi guys, my name is Oladipo Adeboale. I remain the king of Japa.
I remain the prince and the humbler co-host of Japa, Maiwa Balogun, aka Swag Daddy.
Okay.
And we have a guest today.
Yeah, we do. Before we go into our guest though, this is our second episode of the season.
Yeah.
Our last episode was to our listeners. I apologize. I think a lot of the Nigerianness of things, the morale in that episode was not giving the usual energy we have. Nigeria has a way of reducing.
The king of Japa 9 times this year, and he has forgotten the Nigeria that he came from. That's the story of what happened. Episode 1.
But we do have we have a guest today, a great guest. This particular guest, we've been trying to get him on the show for like 2 years.
He's a big superstar.
It's
like Osimhen level.
It's the Osimhen of Nigeria, the Odogu himself, the one and only, the co-founder.
Updates.
The co-founder.
Co-founder is co-founder. You can't be
the founder of many. You cannot be reducing your beginning now. You've been co-founder, you are founder, you are chairman. You are many things, and obviously you're a husband. If those little things, we need to help you, let people know who you are. But yeah, we have the former co-founder of Kobo 360.
You can't be a former co-founder of a company. Right?
You find
the company, you found the company. You can't find it twice.
Fair enough.
Thank you. Anyway, we've got the co-founder of Kobo 360. He's also I don't know what we'll call him now. We say partner at Calio. He's founding partner at Vine Studios. I don't want to be...
This is a rap sheet. He sounds like a rapper, but how rappers have a rap sheet when they go to jail.
It's a long rap sheet.
But this is like a
But I think for him, he will tell you that the most important thing is that he's a child of God,
Hallelujah.
Yeah, Ife loves the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Let's introduce Ife Oyedele II.
Let him introduce himself.
Okay.
Talk to them, champion.
Okay.
Thank you for having me, Maiwa and Digbo. My name is Ife Oyedele.
Try not to be too serious on this podcast.
The second is because my dad and I have the same name, and he didn't like Junior. So actually, on my passport,
it's actually the second.
So, I love that actually.
So it's not.
Shout out to Daddy, man. Daddy is one of the founding members. Can I say it?
Of what? Yes.
Of APC. Sure. Like his dad is a political guru, very smart engineer. He failed the first. I'm saying this so that if I see Daddy for Abuja, I go feed. I will send these cuts. But you know me now. I'm always thinking ahead. But yeah, that is really smart, and obviously he has pretty smart children. And Ife is the first fruits.
First son.
No, first.
I have an older sister.
Yeah, the first boy.
Don't do that.
Oh, we shouldn't do that. Okay. All right, so we've been trying to get Ife on the pod since like our first season. But obviously, as a busy man, America today, Japan tomorrow, all those kind of movements.
Yeah.
Solving Nigeria's problems.
Yeah,
but we're going to spend some time getting to know Ife. And I think we intentionally pick guests that sort of, shall I say, they crystallize what Japa Chronicles podcast is to me. It's intentional, right? Like, everybody knows Maiwa now. He's not even a co-host, but like Maiwa and I go way back from secondary school. So he lived in Nigeria, lived in a couple of states, Then lived in the US, lived in Canada, that kind of thing. Then decided.
And we back
I
home,
can't
baby.
forget. I wish my phone had that record. I think it was 2016 or 2017. Maiwa, Tolu, and I were on a call, and Maiwa was like, "The moment I get my citizenship in this country,
Stop telling them that, bro.
that same month,
Stop telling them that. One Nigeria. Forget all this.
But yeah, she got that thing. He was in Nigeria in 2020. Was it 2022 or 2024? He was back in the country
three officially. But I was doing 6 months in. 6
Yeah.
months, kinda.
So that's the real story for me, because some of us at some point had the opportunity. At some point didn't have the opportunity to like go abroad, and now that you have the opportunity, we chose that no, our own Japa story cannot just be that we they come out Nigeria because Nigeria bad. My own definition of Japa is different from the guy that even sang the song. Nigerian artist who sang Japa is really like, it's really like you go for a better life, either better life for money, better life for school, better life for exposure. But you get that knowledge or you get that exposure, and then you can come back home. And I always say this, Japa has been since before our time. If you believe in the Bible or whatever you believe in, people have been migrating since the days of Adam and Eve, and it will not change, And so we wanted to talk about such stories. We wanted to be able to give a voice to that story. And like in our first episode, which was really much, it was really for me, I don't want to call it depressing, but my wife and I had so deep conversations where we just were like, this is where Nigeria is right now. And we still need these people to go abroad. And I think I was telling Coinsela this morning, but we need to develop our own people and develop our own nation, right? And nobody's going to do it for us. Ask our brothers in Burkina Faso and all these places where the French.
This is where we're going to start fighting.
Why?
Let's just.
No, because the French have been in those countries and they didn't help them get better.
Okay, fair enough.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta let me land, brother.
I'm a bit touchy about.
No, I know your roots now. I know your root, general. Yeah. Anyway, but I've talked enough. So yeah, we've got our brother, my brother.
It's my brother now.
Oh yeah.
Where money did now for you. Yeah.
But yeah, and we're going to be asking obviously about his story.
Yes, sir.
I believe that I've met different iterations of Ife. I met Ife when Kobo just started,
right,
many years ago, and there's a new.
So was
Ife.
it like a typical tech bro was in singlet in the under in the corner somewhere?
Ife was
coding 24 hours a day.
Ife was very, what's that word now? What's that word?
Locked
it was
in.
very serious, very locked in.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Not serious anymore.
No, like you were too
Just
serious. I think. I didn't like that. I used to chase him. Although it's funny story now. Today, now they chase me.
I am actually. That's true.
Honestly, right? Because and that's life. But I think at that time, I met Ife when I had decided that I wanted to sort of focus on God initially as a young man before going into like VC, all those big startup things. But Ife had obviously is much older than me, so he had already started.
Much
with Kobo.
older, really. No,
Baba, see your grey hair now. See me, small boy like me.
Okay, no worries.
But yeah, if I started Kobo with Obi,
Yes.
shout out to Obi, who is also now the Commissioner of Transport in Enugu State right now.
Oh yeah.
They're all up to bigger things. And I was trying to understand the idea of the Nigerian founder when I met Ife. I don't think he knows all these things. So like, I always growing up, and this is when I say growing up, this is like 8 years ago. I always loved
different time in Nigeria.
Yeah, different time in Nigeria, right? Was it on that Buhari or on that Good Luck Jonathan when you started?
I think it was phasing
into yeah. So
Oh,
this is almost like 9, 10
real.
years ago.
Real.
Yeah, what am I saying? 10, 11 years ago. Always, we don't old though, But I was a young boy. And I wanted to understand. So, and then obviously my aunt had introduced me to him, and she just kept saying, "This lovely superstar, he just came out from the US, he's doing great things." I'm like, hey.
I was when people were coming
Then my
back.
auntie used to say this thing. I'm sure he's going to say, he worked in Mercedes-Benz in the US. I'm like, hey. So I'm like, why come back? That was it. That's where I'm going, because as a young boy who was actually being advised to leave Nigeria at the time, even though the money wasn't there, they were just giving me audio support. I was thinking, what thing go make person go US? They Mercedes-Benz, yeah. And I've always loved Mercedes-Benz, so I understand the class. And I'm like, what thing go make person come on?
When did your Benz come in?
Soon.
As a lover,
Soon.
enthusiast.
Maybe when I'm 40. Let me just put that out there because I already said something. Maybe when I'm 40, but that's the car. That's the dream. It's the kind of car that I like. Anyway, but yeah. So I met Ife. So Ife, we want to get to obviously know the former Ife, I would say, to now I think Ife is in a different stage in life right now.
Tell us. Give us a synopsis.
So give us. Let's start from way back. Were you born here? Were you born abroad?
I was born in Lagos.
Okay.
Thank you for having me again. Great to be here.
Yes.
Finally, after 2 years, I had put an embargo on any podcasts, and so I lifted the embargo recently this year, and this is my first podcast.
Why did you put the embargo on?
I think I was on a journey,
Yeah.
and I needed to just
Be clear.
I needed to sort of hide and keep
Fair enough.
keep away from. I'm still on that journey, but I'm allowed to
Open it.
rear my head
A little bit,
every now and then. But so thank you for having me here.
Well,
So I was
happy to have
I was born here, born in Lagos, born in Luth, a young man. So
Yeah, full Lagos
I'm
boy.
a Lagos boy. Although I'm from Ondo State,
Yeah.
but I
Shout out to
spent-
Governor Lucky.
I've probably been to Ondo maybe 3-4 times. I need to go back more
Okay.
for other reasons. But
I tell people that I
I'm
don't
in
feel like
Lagos,
I'm from Oshun as well. I've probably been to Oshun 4 times in my life.
Yes.
2 or 3 just passing through.
It's crazy, huh?
Yeah, born and bred in Lagos. I and I'm sorry I'm interjecting, but for some reason for me, the Southwest is just one home. I can never really get why we have to have Lagos or your Oshun, Ondo, Ekiti.
You're touching
really
difficult
serious topics, right? But I mean, well,
Fair enough.
they removed history. They didn't really allow us get into it. But for me, as a young man now, with as wise as I think God has, allowed me to be, if we are all Yoruba, I don't get it. But that's not the topic of today.
Yeah, that's
So if you're going,
different.
Yes, so that's you asked
Yeah,
me where
okay.
was I born? Born
So,
here. So
secondary school. What secondary school?
I went to Home Science Association.
Why do you skip
Shout out to
primary
home
school?
science.
I
No.
was going to primary school. What's
In,
important?
So the problem is in my own secondary school now, they don't already close down. So in Nigeria, you can never tell these days.
Yeah, so my secondary school was in Songwater.
Yeah,
a lot of
school
people,
is
a lot of
still
people
a popular
affiliated to the primary school.
Oh, okay.
So they think everybody thinks I went to one butter
No.
secondary school, but
Home science
I don't know
was-
what the
home
clear
science-
link is with the name. But anyways, yes, it was
Yeah.
all the way in Songwater. Yes,
All
I
right.
did, yes.
And then university.
I started out at Adelphi University in New York. It
Oh,
was,
okay.
it
I'm
was a
partnered with
private-
that school, by the
Yeah,
way.
so
Shout
sounds
out to
like a private-
Adelphi.
sounds like a
Yeah,
private-
it's a private school. Really
university.
expensive.
Liberal
Very
arts.
expensive.
So how did that happen, right? Like how did that from SS3 into you now go into the
So
US?
I
Let's
think
not
just
okay?
like everybody, I was taking all the exams, WAEC, NECO, SAT.
Reach out to
JAM.
Labor Education, by the way, if you
everything.
want
So-
do all that.
Plug.
Yeah, I think my dad wanted all of us to go to school abroad because he started to see some of his friends who their children were going abroad and everything.
Shout out
So
to that again.
I didn't care. And we'll come back to
What year was this?
you want to
You want to
let
do
No.
ah,
But yeah, it was. I mean,
let's not say in the
it was,
2000s, in the early
in the mid
2000s. Fair enough,
2000s.
Yeah, let's say that.
So yeah, I was dead set on going to Unilag.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah,
All your friends were going there.
I think it was the most popular school because I also Unilag was my first choice.
Yeah, I think I had a lot of friends. I
Yeah.
met a lot of friends who were hoping to get into Unilag because we were all taking JAM at that same time. So I used to hang around when I was waiting for my SAT scores and admission. I would hang around the campus and I'm like, oh, I'm comfortable here.
Comfortable here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then one day, my dad, he had told us to pack our bags because we had gotten admission. And then just told me to pack my bags and get on a plane in 24 hours. It literally was
Wait, you went alone?
with a friend of mine that was going to. We went to high school, secondary school together. And
Okay, he
we
was also
went
going to the US. Oh,
same
okay.
university together. So, we ended up just hopping the flights, getting to the airport in New York, and taking a very expensive taxi to Long Island.
Do you remember how much that taxi fare
It
was?
they
It were
duped
very
us.
expensive for sure.
They duped us. So it was like I think it was what should have been $40 or $45 was like maybe double. Or
These
something.
young FOBs.
Yeah, so they figured that we didn't know anything.
Shout
So,
out to Uber.
Yeah.
FOBs, by the way, fresh off the boat. That's what they call the
All right, so
Nigerians over there.
you didn't you didn't pick that school at Delphi University.
I picked it. I picked
Okay.
it. So
You didn't know about it?
When you applied.
You have like 4
But
or
did you
5
know
schools.
a lot about the school? Like,
I had
so obviously
researched.
today
I had
we do.
read.
Okay.
So
okay.
I had researched. I mean,
So
because
did you
I
apply
figured-
yourself for the school at the time?
Yes, I did. So I could pick the schools I wanted. So my sister and I, my older sister, who was already in the US then, helped
Oh, okay,
me pick
okay,
the
okay,
schools.
okay.
Fair enough.
So yeah, and I read about it because I figured I needed to know about it before I go to the visa for the
Right.
visa interview.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So I read a little bit about it.
But compared to the visa interviews today, I'm pretty sure it was a cakewalk. Not just because of your
Actually,
dad
it
was
wasn't.
comfortable.
It wasn't always a
Oh,
good work. It used to be-
Actually,
it used to be funny
I
and
remember there
scary.
were like 9 or 13 people before me, and all of them got denied.
Yeah, and it's like,
I don't even know why I got accepted. But
God.
I had this. I mean, I think it was God in hindsight, but I really didn't care. I was just. I didn't even know what a visa interview.
Do you remember
was.
anything about that interview? The questions?
Yes, because
okay.
my friend was there and she got denied. We were in the essay and she was crying. Although they called her back because her people, her family, I don't know. Somebody
They had-
worked
they
it
had-
out for
they
her,
had-
and they called her back. And so I remember they asked me that why did I pick this school?
Mm-hmm.
And so I gave them one start. I had researched about the school. I thought that the
man,
school
those
was number
interviews were so
1
funny.
in blah blah blah, something like that. And the guy said, "Oh, give me a second." So was it a guy or a lady? I can't remember who. Walked to the back, spent like 2-3 minutes. They came out and said, "Okay, I got accepted." So it was just 2 or 3 questions. I was surprised.
yeah.
So, but I was shocked because everybody before me got denied. So, in hindsight, even though I didn't want to go, God,
I was
I don't
telling
think
my-
my dad knows that I didn't want to go.
I was telling my other experience. By the way, shout out to the owner of Ife because the day I did my interview a couple of months ago, he also came in for his interview. And for me, I feel like before me that day, there were probably like 80 or 100 people. And I'm pretty sure like 75 got denied.
Oh yeah,
The embassy is
it's
big,
not.
yeah.
It's nothing has changed.
I had been denied before. Obviously, that's another
Just
topic
more
for another day.
expensive.
Yeah, that's true. You know this now because remember when I went to Abuja Ife and I had been denied? Are you counting something?
No,
Is this a busy guy?
I
It's looking at the schedule.
Yeah, but,
I was,
so I've been denied in Abuja.
Yes.
I was going with my boss, and it was like I think for me, I've learned, and again another episode we'll talk about this. But have you ever had any visa denied before?
Sadly, no.
Yeah.
Not sadly.
It's not
Luckily, no.
luckily no because of how you started.
Actually,
have you
I've
ever
had
a
one
denial
denial.
before?
Actually, I've had a denial.
Which one?
So when I moved to Canada initially,
Okay.
I tried to get a US visa like 6 months after, and I got denied.
Oh, okay.
They
So
told
that's
me
one.
I just
You
moved there,
have
so
you
I
ever
didn't have,
doubts? No,
Not
because
really. I have gotten something where
it was
but I was
not really
It wasn't
denial.
a denial. No,
So-
I won't say I have.
I've had a couple of denials, but all my denials for me have come from a place of like arrogance. So when I went to do this US visa interview in Abuja, we entered like we knew the ambassador and the consular general, and all of us got denied.
Yeah, I saw so many people like that,
Bro,
when I used to go for
all
these
of us
interviews
got
in
denied.
Lagos here.
So because of
It's
that
been so funny.
experience, by the way, whenever we're going to talk about the US visa, that thing is very traumatizing because it's like there's a psychology behind keeping all of us for hours. Like you get there early in the morning, they keep all of you like sardines, and you're also hearing everything the person in front of you is going through, or the 4 or 5 people. So mentally, it's like they are looking to break you.
Yeah.
So now, the Abuja one for me was like, I was trying not to go to one particular lady because she was just denying everybody. I now wish in hindsight that I said I would go and pee so that I will come back and circle back because some of these babes did not even ask us much.
Yeah.
Right? It was like that day they were denying every single person. Anyway, so when I then came to Lagos to do it, they are denied again like sometimes. So I told myself, like in my spirit, that look, they're not going to break me. So I got my best playlist, Dunsi on here, because shout out to Uncle Dunsi.
See the Wahala of visa.
I plug my
Nigeria.
ear.
Visa Chronicles.
I plug my ear. I just dey listen to music.
Yeah.
The people around me at 4-5 they were just talking, incessant talk. One talk say she done born for there before.
So
She
you still
bring all
hear
that.
what they were saying through the music.
I could see because they were, you know, Nigerians that we can be so loud. They were shouting. By the time it was almost my turn, they were now really trying to get me to talk. But I was trying to stay in my spirit because I felt that what they were trying to do, and I think we'll talk about it again like another time, but like the psychology behind what they try to do in the embassy is that they are trying to break you in your mind. And what do I mean? It's like you're hearing what everybody's questions are, and they likely will not ask you the same question. And while you're doing that, you're seeing people get denied. And whether you like it or not, you don't also have your phone.
Right.
Right? So if you don't know like what you are, if you don't have like a small book or you're like you're not meditating or singing a song or something, the likelihood is that your heart is going to be focused on what the guy is saying. And boy, oh boy, like see like some people get denied. Like it was not like when the Abuja one, because Abuja was very like everybody stays outside, you go in like tens. So it wasn't much. But in the US one, in Lagos rather, like the whole line can take like 150 people and you all have to queue. And you're just hearing, I'm sorry at this time, I'm sorry at this time, I'm sorry at this time. I saw one guy.
USA.
I saw one guy who came to do his
Trump.
He came to do his school
worse
thing.
now, huh?
And the guy was so prepared. He was using all the lines that they gave him. And I was like, I know this guy.
And you can tell
I know. I was like, I said I was
for
going to
the
get
lines.
Yeah, I was like, this guy's going to get it. After all this story, you're like, I'm sorry at this time. You know, if you feel free to reapply.
But yeah, some people are cramming the lines they're going to say in the embassy.
Yeah. So you go to the US, go to Long Island. How was that?
Long Island, huh?
It was very strange for me. I woke up. I remember waking up the next morning thinking, what am I doing here? But luckily for me, as we walked into the dorms, there were 3 Nigerians standing outside, like just in the hallway, and that changed everything for us because they really took us on as brothers, my friend and I, who traveled together. And they helped us like through like campus, because we got there a little bit late. We got there like a week after school had started, or a few days after school.
Okay, so you had missed
started.
orientation.
Yes, so we had missed orientation. So in fact, one of them helped me get my first job on campus, get my social security number, everything. So, but I just felt it was just like the weather was cold. I had a roommate who was gothic. I don't know if you know the goth.
Yeah.
You know, like. They listened to metal music. They were like black.
The paint.
So everything was just strange. I'm like, and it was bunk beds, you know, it was cold. I was like, what the heck? I just want to be at home. And that was the first experience. But
what was your major there at that school?
I was studying physics at that school. Yeah, so it was supposed to be a dual program with Columbia University. So 3 years you do physics, and then 2 years you do engineering of your choice. But my sister was out in University of Michigan. Her school fees was considerably cheaper, and I was like, why don't I move to Michigan? You know, instead of putting that burden on my parents. And then the news had been circling around tech.
Right.
And you know, this physics, I just wasn't enjoying it.
Right.
Like I had to read 10 times harder than all my friends because I like to read books, but not textbooks.
Right.
So you're not what we call an eruku.
No, I'm not. I'm not a.
But you're not an average guy,
as my dad.
Well.
So or my sisters.
Yeah.
So I just figured, and I kept reading. The news was circulating around tech. That tech is going to be the next thing. Tech is this, blah blah blah. The average tech guy is getting this job, this salary. So I had the opportunity to, I didn't tell my dad, but I switched my major to ITM, Information Technology Management, when I moved over to Michigan.
Oh, so you changed schools, why?
I changed schools because of the cost of Adelphi University.
I mean, they're my partner. Like, now it's like 40K, 50K for like 1 year undergrad.
Still pretty good.
Yeah. So it was a burden on my parents, and I figured, let me move to somewhere cheaper. The school, University of Michigan, is well known, even though I was like on the smaller campus. It's a well-known, the Dearborn campus.
Shout out to the
University of
Wolverines.
Michigan, Dearborn. Yes.
Oh, Michigan Dearborn. So that's where all the Arabs, you had a lot of Arabs.
Yeah, so most of my close friends were Arabs. So,
connect me to PIF money now, brother.
So, it was...
No, those are the Arabs from Syria and stuff.
No, don't worry about that.
Yes, so...
so
that was
not our PIF brothers.
Palestine.
Shout out to Saudi Arabia. I mean, I'm going to Saudi Arabia
Free
this
Palestine.
year.
Okay, sorry, continue.
No. So that's it. Yes, so I moved over to
No,
Michigan.
what are you doing?
Free Palestine. Come on. Genocide. Continue.
I've answered my question.
Oh yeah.
What's the next one?
So
for him?
you moved to Michigan, obviously.
So you did
great school.
ITM. So when you transferred, how long did you do in New
2
York?
years in New York.
And so you transferred and you just continued from...
No, I couldn't continue because I was switching my major.
So
I
you had to go back 1 year.
So actually, I had to go back
1 year.
A year and a half to take my electives again. So I did that at the community college, Henry Ford Community College.
These are the things that...
Yeah, so they're very detailed.
know.
So I'll
Where's Henry Ford?
right next to University of Michigan, Dearborn. Like
Oh,
right
okay.
in Dearborn.
Yeah. Community college is cheaper. It's easier.
Yeah.
So you get
But
your
they
elective
deny
there.
if you go U.S. embassy to the Tennessee.
No, you can't do it that way.
No, you
When you go,
can't.
you
When
can, but
you
it's
reach
difficult.
there-
It's difficult to get the visa.
Not really. I know a few people that,
Really?
that did that. No. They're
Directly,
giving-
they apply from
Oh
Nigeria.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not a. Don't let people fool you.
Well, they
about
say
that.
everybody's realities differ.
Fair enough.
At
Yes.
least I know somebody we know. Just is she in Boston is yeah. So
There's more to the story.
Out of high-
Sha.
out of high
But-
school?
Yeah. No. It's my sister actually went straight to community college first from
Wow.
Nigeria, and this was.
I think
way
things
back
have.
then.
Yeah.
People just don't
Yeah,
know.
the realities
We
differ.
didn't
Sha.
know.
Let's
It was
just-
when she got there that we started to understand it. But actually, you can go with a community college.
You-
Maybe
it's
it
not
may
that-
reduce your chances. but
Exactly.
actually,
That's why
I
it's not that you
don't
cannot
know-
go.
That's the key.
It's the percentage chance.
I actually don't know anybody that has been denied because they picked it.
Fair enough.
Well, fair enough, but let's also look at your circle.
No, it's not.
Let's look at your circle.
That's what I'm trying to explain.
No,
to you.
no,
That don't-
he has a
it's really
point.
at
He has a
the
point.
The person that I told you was denied. You don't even understand. Like she brought out titles, company, like there was all
Yeah.
kinds
and then they
of. Like
called
she
the
had
CG
every,
and then they gave her the visa.
yes, but at that point in time they denied her. They had no reason to. It really is at the discretion of who
I guess
is
that.
there. It's
guess
not. Even last time when I went to renew my visa, the guy was like, "Oh, why was I there for so long?" And I'm like, I was there.
Yes,
And my mom goes for a long stretch. So why are you questioning me for going for so long?
They
So
just want to mess
so
with
it's
you.
really they just want to
That's
mess
psychology,
with you.
man.
And so if you play
Psych 101.
if you play their game, then for me, I never wanted to travel. Like traveling,
Yeah,
even
fair
now,
has
traveling
always
is
been-
not like it's not on my mind to just say I want to travel. So I was a nomad from day one. I just wherever you put me, I'll
be
just
there.
figure out
Find a way.
myself.
So you finished in Michigan.
Yes.
What
So you
happened
did 3 years in Michigan.
No, longer than because I
Longer
worked.
than-
I also worked.
So you were kind of
Yes.
part time. Not part time.
You
Yes.
really went to you matured on your own. Like you took. Did you take all these decisions on your own?
I had
Or you
a lot
with-
of. I had
with your
friends.
family, friends. Okay.
I had friends. Yes, I had a lot of.
So you
friends.
finished in Michigan. Then what happened next?
So I was working at a research company called CFI Group. I had left Mercedes. I was working at the IT department.
Why do you want
Mercedes-Benz
those? Why do you want
Financial
those?
So you got Mercedes?
Exactly.
Why-
Those are those
why-
skin
why-
to
why-
Mercedes
why-
like.
while I was in
So you interned and
college,
then you
yes,
continued?
Yes, so I continued.
That's
And
big boy
so,
moves now. Why leave Mercedes?
I remember they were trying to help me figure out my H1B.
Okay.
But because my manager really liked me, but because there were a lot of, I don't know if I should say this, but there were a lot of other IT staff that were from other parts of the
other
world
parts of the
world.
that, if they
prefer-
had made if they had
one
taken
of
a
us.
different path from me,
yeah.
could have impacted the organization as a whole.
My wife.
So
They give my wife ammunition.
so
No.
I had to leave. So I worked for a research company which was also filing for me, and then I had started my masters.
Okay.
But I had met Obi, my
So this,
partner.
so this all in Michigan.
Yes.
So where did you meet Obi? Okay.
So we went to college together. We was going to University of Michigan, University of Michigan, but he got a full ride to complete his undergrad at Wharton.
Oh, okay.
But we remained friends, and so he was working at JP Morgan when he graduated.
Yeah.
I was working, and he called me and was like, "I'm bored. Like this, I don't want to be staring at the computer. Let's move back to Nigeria." And I was like, "Okay, let's do it."
This was when there was a lot of hope in Nigeria too.
No, this was
was
when
not.
Dollar
This
had
was-
just gone.
this
Oh,
was-
sorry.
This was Jonathan.
Yes.
The ending
So
of
this-
Jonathan.
so this
It was
is
Jonathan's
Yes.
of the
tenure,
Wahala.
his own
So
main.
everybody
Beginning of
was
problem.
asking us, "What are you coming to do back here? Like, you people are not,
It's not the
on
time to
serious
start
people."
coming
So
back.
we packed our bags.
Can I ask
and
a question?
We moved back. Yeah.
Now, obviously, he didn't just call you immediately. And he
He
just moved.
literally
You-
just called me and we said, "Okay, let's."
So you
do
guys
it."
had not been talking about any idea.
We had talked about So
no,
before
yeah,
don't
then,
talk
exactly.
about
we
yeah.
had tried to do business in Nigeria. So we'll buy a lot of household goods
And then send.
and send it to Nigeria.
Okay, so you were
But we
already
couldn't-
talking.
we-
Yeah, I was trying to establish that you had a
trying to
relationship.
Let
Let people know those
I
things
met
that-
him through his wife.
let's
We're
not people-
friends.
Okay,
we're
great.
friends.
Okay, so Obi was married in US.
Yes, he's been married for a long time. Yes.
Okay, because I was going to then ask you guys because I didn't know he was married when he
Oh, yeah,
came
he
here.
was married.
Now, what is it about the US? Is there something where people just don't get married early? Is it the American dream people are chasing? For you, was there anything in particular? Because
Sorry, what
most
did you say?
people don't get married on time
In the US,
compared to
I think
here.
you have to segregate it.
No,
by
I mean
race.
our people.
Fair enough. Okay.
No,
Okay,
not
you mean
our
like
Nigerians.
Nigerians don't get
Because a lot of my
married
friends.
on time.
Sorry, Maiwa, but like a lot of my friends.
I'm on it
are,
actively, guys.
like averagely will get married between 28 and 35.
That are here, men.
No, like American.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
like the guys
So
abroad.
how old are they supposed to get? What's this?
No, I'm not saying there is an age, but like when you're here in Nigeria, I think there's a cultural thing where they begin to like put marriage in your head from like 21 to like 25.
As a man,
Man or woman, I'm just saying.
I don't think there's a,
I don't
there's a,
think
there's a
so. I
difference
think
between
it's
the
where you
Nigerians
come
here.
from.
Yeah.
You came from a place where.
No, nobody pressured me for marriage.
Yeah,
though.
so I mean,
No, but
I don't
my
really.
wife gets
I mean, I know
I'm
what you
saying.
mean.
For
because
men, maybe
there-
women.
There's the
So
pressure
like
where
in my okay, go ahead.
there's the
go
pressure
ahead.
where if you're in Nigeria, your dad starts to tell you like, I feel
21.
like there's a lot of respect that comes in marriage.
Like I
in
literally
Nigeria.
just graduated. Like how would they?
That's my
never
point now.
experienced that.
No, 21 is pretty early.
Interesting.
But
Maybe
there's a
25,
bit of a-
26,
yeah,
but
25,
Yeah,
26.
but
Even
I'm
like
now,
that.
but I'm now saying that the average person gets married 29 to 35. That's what I'm saying.
So I'll tell you what it is. They have to consider in America.
Uh-huh.
You graduate from university,
Yeah,
you have to
probably have
getting
student
the
loans.
H1B.
Okay,
It's
it's
the
your
first
priority.
it's the first
Yeah,
problem.
that's what I'm saying. That's where
But
they go with
I
that.
actually think that marriage has changed all over. I don't think
no,
everybody's
it's changed all
rushing
over.
to get
Yeah,
married
definitely not.
anymore. I think the
Definitely not.
landscape has changed significantly from.
But I
when-
don't think I
from
think
the
Nigeria has the
early-
same thing. Like you
Yeah,
graduate
yeah,
here,
yeah,
you're like you're still going back to your father's house.
yeah.
Yeah.
Likely trying to get a job, NYC. I don't think there's a
Yeah.
material difference.
Yeah.
A lot of Nigerians get married early too. Like,
I don't know much about that topic.
yeah, I don't think there's.
I'm just trying to establish what I feel like I've seen.
What
Like
is it?
obviously, we went to a secondary school where half of our friends are abroad, right? The average
I
of
don't think the
people-
rate is
the
different.
rate of people who got married
I don't think so.
early in our group, for instance, are people who were
Who got
in
married
Nigeria.
first in our group? I think it was Nifemi that got married first. She was in the US at like 24 ish.
No,
Nifemi got married over maybe 10 years ago,
that's an anomaly, Sha.
and she was in America. I remember. And she's
No,
still
that's,
there.
that's an
Texas
anomaly.
somewhere.
But yeah, let's move on. I mean, that's
Anyway, yeah.
I just, but you get what I'm saying, right? Because when you look at
I don't
like
know.
after Nifemi, right, you then have
So
Tomiwa,
I'll tell you
Dipo,
what might be the considerations you might have
okay,
in the US. First, you're trying to figure out your career pathway,
yeah,
right? Immediately you graduate.
and it's not
from
just US or US UK, right?
But also, yeah, and that figure that part that process involves trying to figure out. You can't marry a Nigerian. Well, I would say you can't. But if you want to stay in America and you're trying to figure out your visa situation, you're looking for who you can marry.
That's exactly what I wanted to talk about because
that
it
might help
seems
you,
like it seems
advance your
arranged
status.
and it seems like my status is more important. Like here, when we get married, like when I was, so let me give you an example. That's what I mean, right? When I was getting married, I wasn't broke, but I wasn't as okay as I am now. In Nigeria, you're sort of encouraged culturally and spiritually that marriage is such a blessing that once you get married, you can figure it out like
Together.
that way, right? Yeah. But I'm saying that what I felt it was what you guys just said about like your status there is more important that if I don't figure out my status, I can never get married and then be sent back here.
Yeah, because imagine
But
getting married
here,
to
nobody's going to send you
a fellow,
anywhere. Do you get my
to a
point?
fellow F1
So like
student.
when I got married here, in fact, I had been asking. So we have a common friend, Uncle Ayo, who when he married my sister one day, I was telling our common friend that it does seem like Uncle Ayo was doing well, and then when he got married, it's like he does stay
Elevated.
next.
Yeah.
So like I was studying that people who get married here,
Like they move on,
and
they
Uncle
move
Ayo didn't marry early. Oh. Do you understand? They didn't get married early, but like
Yeah.
once they get married, they just like 10x, 100x.
Yeah.
And I was waiting. I was like, God, okay. Be like, saying, so you did run this thing. I
God,
did for you.
please.
And immediately I got married. I 100x. So do you understand? So like, but obviously here we are more like now we get land. If I marry, nobody go send me go anywhere if anything happen wrong. Like if I don't have a job, no. But there you're worried about your status, like
And
you're
I
saying. So
remember,
I think that's what sometimes it
here
is.
there's family. Yeah,
There's some
the
family
system is
support. So that's what I'm just trying to understand. Like a lot of my friends, because I'm praying for my friends, I'm always praying like, is there something there that does not encourage us to get married as early? But yeah, let's move on from
I
that.
don't think so. I think it's still individualistic. I think
okay.
a lot of my friends who had been there a while, the concept of marriage was slowly fading. Fading
Yeah, that's
away.
what exactly. Yeah,
So
they talk
it
me that.
really, and
Was it marriage or commitment, in your opinion?
both, because commitment is
It's the
to
same
an
thing, really.
African
I mean,
person.
he's
you
married.
are-
Married
going
now,
to
they validate
get
that.
to marry.
Yeah, I mean the culturally
So
too.
I
There's
think also
a lot of differences.
There was many of us were lacking spiritually. So like, when you are having casual relationships with women, the concept of marriage is
May
just
not really be
it's not top
encouraging.
of your
Okay.
mind.
Okay.
Most of my friends that have kept themselves, they desire marriage. Because they desire companionship, especially the busy ones that spend a lot of time at work. They desire to come home to have.
If they preach to you, because this guy is doing businesses in America, Canada, America, Nigeria,
Yes.
and you go and tell me say you desire companionship. Admit it.
I know.
Yes.
I'm looking for.
You're looking for. You're
Guys,
sure? You sure? We should ring you.
So
But yeah.
that's what I.
Okay,
see.
so let's go back to obviously what I guess we could really enjoy about this conversation. So obviously you and Obi co-founded.
Obi.
Oh,
not
sorry.
Obi.
Dr. Obi is I don't
I
know why,
understand.
but you and Obi then
So you guys move back
co-founded.
to Nigeria.
Move back to
Yes.
Nigeria. Okay, so let's tell us about
sorry,
Kobo
quickly,
360.
very
Okay.
quickly. You guys did you guys so
Literally
he
called
calls
me
you
like
up?
August, September.
Do you guys have
He
an
bought
idea
it.
of the plan of
We
what you want to
didn't
do?
have
Just say,
any
listen, we're
idea.
just going back home.
We didn't have any idea, but Obi is not the kind of guy that needs to plan. He can come up with an idea.
No. Obi and I are very
His-
similar.
His brain doesn't stop working, so we knew we were going to figure something out.
I'm not surprised about Enugu Air.
Yes.
Obi and I are very similar.
So yeah.
And Obi will
So
take
luckily for Obi, he applied for a job. Actually, while he was talking to me, he was applying for a job at Uber, and he got a job.
Uber here in Nigeria.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Uber Nigeria. So
I
he got a
remember
job
that.
as head of operations. This guy was married with a kid. He was taking like a very ridiculous pay cut to move back to Nigeria. I was like, I had told him that let me go earlier. Let me just get a lay of the land, see what we can do. But he got that job. Fortunately for me, my company then allowed me to work remotely.
At that time, huh?
At that time, I didn't even know what it would mean until now. For a few months, of course, I did not know it was going to be so challenging with the network issues back in 2015. So,
I can't even imagine that.
They didn't extend my contract because there was just a lot of
Issues.
challenges because I was working with huge data sets, and if you don't have fast internet,
It's just going to be a mess.
But that time, I think Smile was like the
but
best
they
network.
really loved me. They tried to file. They had already filed actually my H1B. The first one got rejected. They were filing again, but I'd already then Obi had called me and I was ready to.
This is part where I put a disclaimer. If I is not saying that you should just drop out
Make that
that
choice.
does say you want
No,
to
I was
go
doing
and-
my masters. I dropped. I'm not
Yeah,
telling you
like,
what
no-
to do. I'm not
By the way, what's your master's in?
management information system. So
Oh,
still
okay.
on the same track.
MIS.
Shout out to
I
Covenant
dropped
University.
out.
Man, MIS.
Remember?
MIS was governance thing.
I
Wait, you
dropped out. Yes,
dropped
I
out
did.
of
I dropped out to move back to Nigeria now.
That's a podcast on its own. You dropped out of your MIS course.
My master's, yes. You knew this now, didn't you know?
I don't
had
know
to
why.
come back
I
to
know
Nigeria.
the story. That's true.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I didn't.
So Obi gets into Uber. You're working obviously with the
Remotely.
companies remotely.
How
So-
long is this for? Like this
Yeah.
this process? Like you working remotely?
Yeah, and then him in Uber.
So he was at Uber, I would say all of 6 months. We left 6 to 8 months.
So I think that's where you guys figured out what
Yes.
Kobo could
And
be.
then,
Okay.
and then you also worked for that same 6 months.
Yes, yes, exactly. So when he was ready to leave Uber,
Oh, right, okay,
I was
so-
ready to.
Right.
So
not
again,
renew
disclaimer:
pursue renewing the
they didn't live broke. They didn't. Obviously, they had jobs and they didn't live broke. They just took a risk.
I mean, it's not like they didn't sacrifice a lot of money.
It wasn't a lot of money when you think of entry level jobs back then. He had a family. I
can imagine,
still
right?
had bills to pay.
But
I had
today,
siblings.
I see a lot of
So,
young
but
guys.
It wasn't like we came back broke, but it wasn't like we had
yeah.
any soft landing.
Yeah.
Like we were sharing a bed in my mom's house.
I can
So
imagine.
it wasn't like we had a lot of money.
The challenge for me is that, and I'm sure you see this every day because you can't say a lot of young people. Like a lot of young people want to go into this whole I want to do a startup matter straight off the bat from university. Like our generation, nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to. They just think that once they have a good idea, right? Let me just go into this whole space of me to have started a company.
Yes.
You understand? And you make a lot of mistakes, and obviously it will take me to the question I've been eager to ask you about, which is the amount of startups that have crashed in the last 3 years, that have raised money.
But do you think
Obviously-
that, before you finish your question, do you think that there's a link to I'm not sure that there's a link to the
I
inexperience.
mean, he's
of
the best
people.
person to tell us because he invests in companies. He invests
For
all
sure,
this stuff
for
for him. They've invested
Wow.
in a lot of
Companies.
companies, right? So he's in the best place to tell us. And obviously, I haven't done. So yeah, but that's
but I want you to make it specific for him
yeah.
in terms of the because you brought up people that are young
Yeah.
out of university starting up a company.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to link that to the question.
Yeah.
If there's a link between maybe those young.
Yeah. So is there a link between people
Of
obviously
course,
who haven't?
1,000%.
Okay.
1,000%. Yeah, and we made some of those terrible mistakes, and we are where we are now because of those. Or Kobo is where it is now because of those mistakes. I think fundamentally, there's everything comes with experience.
Experience, yes, that's the
And
key.
there are certain structures and systems that the market economy has put in place that, if you adhere to some of them, at the very least you can survive. And then there's certain silent principles that are not pushed on, at least back then were not pushed on founders. They pushed the idea of the more advanced developed countries brought startup, this whole VC ecosystem here in a way, sort of. They pushed it. I mean, there were a lot of entrepreneurs. Our parents were entrepreneurs, but in the VC system sort of model, they drove it down very, very deeply. So I think what happened was that they said the idea was scale fast. If you scale fast, you can fix all your problems when you are big, which is what happened in a lot of companies.
Yes,
in
exactly.
the
The
US.
big
But
ones that we
again,
know.
They have the structure.
They had the structures and they leaned on the structure.
And they leaned on a lot of experience.
Yes, and they leaned on a lot. They had people that would openly provide experience,
Mentorship and things like that.
mentorship. Many of these guys that when you hear Microsoft and all of these guys going to start, these guys were already. They could walk into rooms. Some of them, their parents were
parents
connected.
particularly,
So they
yeah.
could walk into rooms where they could be sitting down in front of a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. When the startup game blew up here, only a few people had access to the big shots that could advise you on what kind of systems, what kind of guardrails can you put. And to be honest, the VCs were not telling you that until something was not wrong. Their owners scale. There was a book that was popular, Blitzscaling. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's a popular book, I think, by the founder of Netflix. Which means scale fast, break things fast, and then when you scale, you fix it. Know, but that doesn't work in a market that is not as forgiving and developed enough to catch you when you land. In that sense, in the US, you can take a loan, max out your credit card.
You have a mortgage, you can take
have a mortgage, you can take. We don't have all of those
systems
things.
are not there.
But just going back, touching on that point is that if we had that basic experience, that you should think of profitability, think of systems like taxation, like audit, all of those kind of things. It will make it, even though there was this mindset that it impedes growth.
Yeah.
But
it does.
if you at least started it,
it gives you a lot of balance.
Given you a lot of, I had people who, because they had not filed their taxes, they had not filed their taxes, they could not either raise the next round quick enough, or they were tax deficient and they had to pay a lot of money. And so it's now, how do I scheme not to pay money? So it now comes to physical and spiritual, like battles that you have to make decisions that are, if you are not grounded in your faith, whatever your faith is,
you have to make that decision. Yeah. So for me, to tell us the Kobo story, right? From you guys then obviously left. He left Uber, you left your company, you started Kobo. So tell us the Kobo story, the mistakes you think you made, how much money you raised from investors, all those kind of things. There was a time you guys were called the Uber for logistics in Africa.
Uber for trucks. Yes.
For trucks. So so tell us a bit about that.
Okay, so I'll try to summarize a long story and we're running out of time.
No, I'm not. Go on.
So so we had the opportunity to meet somebody in the transportation space, a very big person in the transportation space.
You don't want to, do you have NDA not to say?
No, I can't.
No, it's not
Oh,
important.
okay. No, because I know the company that's
they,
that as well.
they invited us to, myself and Obi, to help them figure out how to modernize their operations in that sense, bring tech and everything, and just bring operations and everything. So before then, we were testing out last mile delivery, which is like your regular what the likes of Max and Chowdeck are doing now. So we had tested it out. Actually, we were very popular, and most of my friends that were in the tech space, that was how we met them.
Yeah.
Because we were doing deliveries we had rented bikes, leased bikes, borrowed money to buy bikes, and we're doing deliveries, but we did not put data behind it. So
Would that be mistake number one?
that was mistake number one. So you would see that you could get 50 orders from Surulere to Lekki, if you know that distance, and the person that is ordering doesn't want to pay more than 500 naira in delivery. And so we were foolish enough to say, early on, like I said, just like I was saying, structures. Early on, we said, let's get all the customers on board. So we had like so many. We're working with some of these now defunct e-commerce companies, everything.com, and the likes. We were servicing all of them. Jumia, Deal Day, more for everybody
Deal Day
was on our
gone,
platform.
man.
So, and then of course, small businesses on Instagram. Many of them are still my friends today, or people I relate with. And so we just couldn't keep up because the cost of maintaining the bikes, we didn't put data and the numbers behind it. So that killed that business.
Dr. Obi would always say, in God we trust, let everybody bring their data.
Yes.
So would this is another, obviously, would this be lesson learned number 2 or 3? Like, data is king. Data has to be
I would say
critical
it's number
to
one,
anything.
data and your numbers. When I say numbers,
like your financial
how
numbers,
are you tracking your finances,
progressions,
how you tracking your expenses.
Okay.
So that's number 1 and 2. And then strategically taking loans. We didn't understand the fine print in taking loans. Luckily for us, again, we had the people that we took money from were not
terrible people. Okay.
We're not terrible people, so we're fortunate at that. So those are some of the things that we didn't have people to talk to.
Okay.
And so then we were consulting for a large transportation company.
Okay.
And then we now saw, when we closed up shop for the last mile delivery business, we're sort of thinking what to do next. And that was when we stumbled on the fact that majority of the businesses that transportation company was servicing, they had limited availability to trucks. For many reasons. Even the company that we're working with and several other companies in the transportation space, majority of their assets were down because of poor maintenance.
Oh, okay.
And even when they want to drive proper maintenance, schedules and everything, the people that are working there start to steal the equipment, steal the parts. It became very messy. So they spent millions setting up workshops and everything, but the mechanics were not trustworthy. People were stealing parts from driver. Well, let me be very careful, but people could steal parts from the truck just to take money to fix it, and then they would just.
So private sector, public sector is the same thing. Like there's no difference.
There's not a lot of difference. So we saw that. So we did an experiment where we used third-party trucks to service another business that would not have ordinarily done that. And so when that happened, we saw that uptime increased. Customers were happy because their goods were not in warehouses anymore. Even though the revenue was smaller because you're not using your own trucks. You have to pay the third-party guy. You have to pay other fees and everything. But then it was consistent and cyclical. So we decided to look a little bit closer into that, and we saw that almost every business in Lagos, every business in Apapa that was bringing in containers, that was bringing in goods and moving them to the other parts of Nigeria, were having the same issue.
Wow.
So that was what birthed the idea of Kobo. I'm sure there were other people doing it, but I think for us, that close close contact with that
With
problem.
the experience, yeah.
So when we started, just in summary, when we started, everybody was like, "You are crazy! Like, this is Nigeria. How do you tell us it's not your truck? It's not your driver. How do you keep control? How do you do this?" So many people shut us out. And so,
What was your big break?
our big break was one company called Honeywell that said, "These guys these young guys are crazy, but let's give them a try."
Okay.
You know, and they gave us 3 orders to Maiduguri. I remember it was to Maiduguri, and this was in the height of all of these.
Boko Haram.
So we went to the truck park in Costain Ido and decided to beg some of these drivers. Okay, we have goods, but we'll pay you down payment, 50% when you load, and when you get to your destination, we'll pay you the balance. So finally, after hours and hours of begging, we got 3 of them to go load those trucks.
Yeah.
And that was it.
I'm just curious.
By-
How did you, at that initial stage, how did you work with your margins? How did you say, okay?
Oh, the margins were great then.
But how did you figure out, okay, I'll tell the company
because
this
we had
price?
already been going to the truck parks. We had already been
So you
getting
already knew what they
data.
were.
So we already knew. We had already been talking to people.
Honestly, Ife is bringing out some key data. So, like, we talked about data is king, right? He's now bringing out the point of that, look, you have to do the legwork. You have to do the research.
legwork.
You have to go and know about it.
You know, if you go
it's
to
not
Canada, they
just,
do-
nobody does brainwave of, they talk, say,
Yeah,
have
you
you
have to
delivered
know
this
what's on
thing?
the
No,
ground.
like, they had to go do that to obviously,
Yes.
understand the margins.
Yes. So yeah, that was it.
So,
that was our big
Maiduguri,
break.
that was your
So,
big break.
Yes.
So, I want to
And so
interject
obviously it
some-
worked out very well. And then,
worked out
Yeah,
very
from-
well. By the end of that month, I think we had done 56 trips.
What?
Yes. By the end of at least into the first month. Okay, because that was like December into like the end of January. So I don't.
So, obviously, I have 2 critical
sorry,
questions.
before you ask me, I just want to know, like, so you took that risk, you did it the first time. What do you think was what was your cutting edge? What's the word I'm looking for?
Advantage. What separated you from
Yeah,
from
exactly.
the main?
And how did you coordinate with the
Yeah, because you guys
drivers?
build
Those
some
drivers are very
technology as well.
crazy.
Yeah,
Good
exactly.
question. Our only advantage, which is the advantage of the most successful founders in anywhere in the world, is that sleepless nights. So the only advantage
You're
is
just
that
on
you
them
be close to your
consistently.
customer, be close. So I had high blood pressure, literally waking up in the morning. We all of us 5 a.m. 5 a.m.
Thank God for
morning, we're
baby
at the
Jesus.
parks.
But shout out to my wife, man. Babe, when you watch this thing, see why
it
I know
was
they
like
sleep.
The most advantage is people that have this and Obi was
I know Obi's
he doesn't
something.
like to, he never slept, he always worked, so he drove all of us hard. We drove each other hard, and we literally would be working from like 3 a.m. to midnight non-stop.
Yeah,
So
because I'm just
you
because
can imagine,
I just
like,
know
you know,
how crazy
when
that
now
space is.
I remember back then when we would announce, like when they would announce any of the fundraising stuff, we'll just look at each other with like this overwhelming feeling of, oh my gosh, like
Thank God.
now it's out. No, it's like it's out there, so we have to back up. Like,
Oh, okay.
It's more work.
Wait, more work. Back up the talk.
Well, they say
More
the
work.
only reward for good work is more work. I tell them in the office.
Yes.
That's the
So-
only reward.
So those were some of the things.
So I've got 2 critical questions. The first one we've sort of touched on, but I would ask is, obviously, this is Japa Chronicles podcast, and everybody says, let's go abroad for a better life. Then we get there. In some cases, you have like the opportunity to get a good job there, and then you think, oh, let me come invest back in Nigeria. So that's the first question, which is, does studying and living abroad and working abroad, obviously you even worked in like a big company like Mercedes, in hindsight, does that in any way translate to working in Nigeria or setting up a business? And then the second question is, now that you guys have done Kobo and you guys have transitioned to other things, what will you say is the effect of a working government in the success of a business? Because when I think of what they are doing now with the coastal road, imagine if you had that like,
Oh, it's a
I was in the US and we would drive 4 hours on an express, and I could count
I-10, I-20
500,000 trucks. I kid you not,
flying consistently.
flying. And once they do like 5 or 6 hours, they must park.
And we have to go to China soon. China is even
You know,
better
we are
than
doing that soon. So, but those are my 2 questions that like just like in hindsight for you now.
Yes.
What do you?
Oh, in hindsight, number one, certain things translate. You just have to know. what many of us tried to do was take everything and try to
Just
copy and
superimpose
paste.
it.
Superimpose it. Like good, I don't have that English. So yes, certain things translate. I think excellence at work, numbers and data, all of those things translate.
But not the streets.
Not the streets.
Not the
definitely.
driver.
You have
Not
to-
driver stealing your catalyst in the truck.
Exactly. So by
Or battery that you told him to buy 200k. You went to go and buy the one that already dead.
I have a
Every
question for
week.
you after this too.
yes, so certain things translate.
Yeah.
And of course, I mean, I don't think it's a no-brainer that if a government is working, you gave the perfect
Security.
example. Like on a good day, it shouldn't be taking. If you've ever gone by
Those
road
roads
to
are so crazy.
Nigeria,
I went to Jos by road. in December.
We took the road and the rail. We spent this was in 2017. We spent 5 days on the train going from Lagos to Kano. Yes. We couldn't.
Those
I
trains
couldn't-
No, like 1, 2, 3,
the
4,
train
5 days.
broke
so
down
bad.
twice. We had to wait somewhere in the bush until they brought another engine. Just because we were thinking, let's get cargo to move by rail. We're trying to do anything
Trying to get those
crazy.
things
Yes.
at that time.
So we
Wow.
we wanted. OBJ said, let's go. Let's experience
Let's
it.
see it.
So
Did
we
you go with
we
security?
secure
Train, bro.
on the train. So we literally
Get my
were in the middle of somewhere in Zaria, and people will be running to. I don't even know where that was.
I
and
grew up
people
in
will be
Zaria, by the way.
running
That's
to the
pretty
train tracks to be selling.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
I bought like a sack of mangoes for like 1,000 naira. Like, so we're even thinking, how do we bring?
How do we?
So we're just thinking. So those inefficiencies that you don't see elsewhere. Sometimes, some days, I'm sure you saw during COVID, we had about maybe 50 or so trucks stuck between the Kenya-Uganda border because of the confusion between both countries.
yeah.
And imagine you've paid down payment for almost
Man.
50 trucks where they are over there it's in dollars. So trips from those, from Kenya to Uganda, because Uganda is landlocked, anywhere from $1,500 and above. So imagine 50% of that tied down, and then those goods have to be delivered before you get invoiced and before you get paid. Now, the government are not in
Good
terms,
terms.
and
They're
then
not friends.
the video. I think I still have the video. I think for 65 kilometers, just trucks.
Packed.
For
Just
weeks.
because two
So how do
presidents,
you
no one
translate that to
relate.
revenue?
Man.
So
Everybody.
See that?
The whole value chain.
so if a government works, I think maybe in the whole history of my time in America, there was one incident. I don't even think there was any incident where there was any problem between Windsor and
It's coming now. It's coming now.
Right now, we don't know what's going to happen. But
and Detroit
coming
border.
now.
But
So-
I think the Prime Minister of Canada is going to back down.
So-
Eventually, he knows
That's
that
a different story.
that's a different story. But
So
eventually,
yeah,
that's what's
yes,
going to happen.
government does.
So yes, the reality is that we talked about it. It's becoming more key to me that to fix Africa, and I hear you guys in this ecosystem. I've heard the current minister and all of you big guys talk about how we must continue to innovate, how we must continue to build
You
stuff.
can't out-innovate the system.
You cannot out-innovate the system.
You just can't do it.
Yes,
You-
you can.
And the tech guys always
Yes,
say
you
that.
can. I
And wanna hear
think
his
no,
point
no,
on
no.
this.
So here's the thing.
If the innovation is what I've told you about,
When you-
the
when-
political
Hold on,
party.
hold on.
Let me
Let him paint his
let me
Let him
put
paint his
it this way.
Okay.
The system will always be the system, right?
It can
The
change.
system is the
Wait,
people.
wait. Now, what I mean is that what I'm saying is that when there's a structure,
Yeah.
right? You either
The structure is set by the people.
Hold on.
wait now.
I just want me the
Let him-
define
let him-
Wait
let
now.
him-
Okay. So
let
think
him-
about
let
it.
him
That
play
the
on this.
U.S. Constitution, there are certain things that people want change there,
Yeah.
but it cannot change. Does that mean that people are not having their way in what they want to do? You understand what I mean? Like people want to change gun laws. People want to change same-sex marriage, but it's not stopping them from doing what they are doing.
True.
So now, you translate that to Africa, to Nigeria, and anywhere in the world, when a lot of people collectively drive innovation, the system will pull itself forward.
Agreed.
So,
But your innovators today behave like the politicians.
so we're not talking
Just
about.
hold
So
on,
I'm not speaking of
Let him-
specific. You
let him
asked
go
the
through-
question.
Okay,
Let him
Can
go through the theory.
innovation, are the people doing it now today?
Okay.
Doing it? Maybe not. I don't
Okay.
know. I'm not too plugged in as I used to be.
Yeah.
But I would say that if innovation is collective,
So, this is where I'm gonna finish your point. I have a
if it
question
is
for you to follow up.
collective, if it is mission driven,
Yeah.
everybody right now, many people, let me not say everybody, a lot of things are changing. Before we were building in silos.
Yeah.
I throughout my time as working at COP, I can count how many times I went for social gatherings.
With other, well, true.
Where
With
we
other
are planning, I
accelerators,
could
with
count,
other guys. Yeah, true,
Yes,
true.
like I could count how many of those
That's
things
changing now, yeah.
I went for. Just outside even outside the conferences, just like, hey guys, we are startup founders, let's hang out.
Yeah.
Let's talk. There was just
I think
wasn't
they
that
did one on that.
you know,
I can't forget
in
once. I
the
don't even
US,
think that
sorry to say, in the
yeah.
US, when the president becomes when somebody becomes president, what
Everybody
happens?
meets.
He invites all
Yeah.
the heads of the banks,
Yeah.
all the heads of the top companies. We don't
Sectors
have
and all that. We don't do that.
Yeah,
shit.
but,
something like, I mean,
so but now you're talking about the governance. So that we're going.
so
We're
what I'm
getting
trying
back
to
to the
say to you
same.
that they are, to the extent that which you can work with them, and we see some people like working with them strategically.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't have. Let me not talk about his ambitions, but there are very few people that are actively. I was anti-government for a long time, but I've come to realization that there's a few people that can create the right linkages
Right.
to allow them see the innovation and plug into. And Lagos is a good example of some of the things that
That are working.
that they are seeing. You know, why is there a need for lag ride? Why wasn't there lag ride before Bolt, Uber, Move, and everything? Do you understand what I'm saying? Why are we doing certain things that we're doing? Why did we even try to have network connectivity all over the states? Why before
Right.
there was a time when there was not a conversation about having internet at our airport.
Yeah.
But now they've been trying. It was coming up at some
So
point.
if what I hear you saying is that the people and the system, right? And when I say people and the system, I'm saying those of us who have been exposed, who are successful, who want to invest. What I'm hearing you saying is that we are driving the politicians into making some of these decisions. Because think about it, lag ride was given to somebody. I don't know if you know the person, but that system is not working.
So again,
That system is not working.
So remember
they
we talked
did
about
it
two
because
things. I'm
after
answering-
all the, you remember, I mean, you know Uber and Bolt
Yes.
well. It was before it was Bolt, what was it even called? Sef? I can't remember that name now. Taxify.
Yes.
Because that's what it was then.
Yes.
Right.
They would arrest them until they came to the table. Because Lagos State government is never going to be for me a good
remember that
standard.
I
They
answered
went
only
behind,
one question.
added LASG fee,
Yes.
then tried to be a competitor, partnered with a company, rather than empower Uber, built like they always do their
So
own
deep
app
off,
that is still not
deep off.
working.
Yes, Mr.
The
King
economy
of Japa
drove
King.
all these things,
Hold on, I want him
and
to-
they are still not doing it well.
Just hold
Japa
on. Let
King.
him speak.
Remember, we only answered one question.
Okay.
Can innovation outdrive or outsmart?
Maybe I should rephrase the
system?
question.
And I said yes.
Can the
Is it
current crop
happening?
of innovators?
No.
Maybe I should.
So
So
Maybe I should-
remember
I
that.
should-
Remember
Let
that
him continue.
everybody wants short bursts of they want to see the results of everything immediately. You cannot fix a country of I don't know how many cities. You
about
cannot
200
fix that
million.
in
let's just go
24
with 200
hours.
million.
Let's go with the 200 million. You are talking about how many people have fixed their homes, fixed their marriages, how many people
So,
have
to be
fixed
fair-
their cars. Talk less of now fixing a nation.
If you're dragging,
No, I'm just
but
trying
I get,
to be
I'm being
very
realistic.
specific
I get,
here.
I get.
Like you are
it's
talking
fine.
about transformation.
So-
you are talking about people that have been career politicians that don't understand
Anything.
innovation.
No anything.
At some point, you have to understand that working with them, Jesus Christ did not go and say, "Oh, I want only righteous people to become
Obviously.
my disciples."
Yeah.
I
He
want.
went- he
I
didn't
want
go
the
for any-
tax
I don't think he went for any righteous
collectors.
places.
So the question is, how do we work with them? And how do we all work together towards that transitionary phase, which may be lifelong? I told myself
Okay.
one thing when I came to Nigeria. I never complained about anything in Nigeria. I don't understand why people come. I made up my mind that I would not let mosquito bite
Yeah,
me.
I would
Let
just
my
try and solve
remember,
problems.
I think I've said it since everybody that knows me. I would never complain about Nigeria until I'm part of the solution, and then I've tried everything, and then it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know, I remember a friend of mine came to my office and he said he's moving his family to Canada. And I said, why now? Because he's one of the few people that he's not in the tech space, but he's done well for himself. And it was like, if I see this bottle here, if I come back in 5 years, this bottle will still be there. This was in front of our old office in Jibo. Lo and behold,
Still there.
when we packed out, we left that office because we're trying to improve. In
Upscale.
fact, our presence there got a lot of buzz, like, because you see like our investors rolling in big cars, like a lot of business was flowing out of that place. And sure enough, that bottle is still there. Maybe not that same bottle, but that meant that nothing has changed. You know, so a few years ago, I stopped advising people not to japa or encouraging people not to japa.
Right.
I just now tell people, are you where God wants you to be? If you are where God wants you to be, then everything else works.
I have to follow up with this question because now, obviously, with Calio, you have a Christian venture fund where you intentionally are investing in
I
Christian.
work with a Christian venture fund. I don't say I have.
Oh, this is your
A
communication
faith-based
English.
or faith-based
yeah.
investment firm that invests in
Thanks for the
Christian
correction. All
entrepreneurs.
right.
Yeah.
Now, I've had this crazy idea we've discussed before that to fix Nigeria, you must fix leadership and politics, right? Do you think it's a VC like you would support such a venture? Like, if I said to you today that I wanted to be part of a community, because Maya and I started talking about it in the last episode where we said we need diaspora to be involved because they have a lot of money, they have the exposure, and we need people here also to be involved. If we wanted to start a movement where we already have accepted our fate, people have to go, again, people have been traveling since the days of Adam and Eve, but would your venture fund invest in a Nigeria where we see that Nigeria itself is the startup? And you don't have to answer me now.
VC
I
back
think that's
political.
a difficult.
Yes.
VCs
It's a
cannot
difficult
back
structure that you're
political.
asking.
No, it's not. That's the very easy
Yeah.
question. Anything
Like, it's
political,
not-
we cannot
yeah.
back. No VC can
Like it's
back
not, there's no alignment there.
anything political.
There's no
But
alignment
I
there.
think I would even challenge you to say that fixing our politics is not what is going to fix Nigeria. Fixing the man
So,
is what will fix
so,
Nigeria.
so what I want to say,
Yes.
what I say
But
to you
I think
is
it's the same thing.
I get what you're saying. I think we have a fundamental
Because
disagreement.
you said something, sorry to go, because you said that, the same thing in the private sector is what happened in the public sector.
Yeah.
Right.
It's because it's the people that are driving.
Okay, so what
Certain
in your opinion as an innovator, investor, etc., how do we begin to fix said persons or in those sectors?
Okay.
That's
Before you
that's
go, I
that's
wanted
sort of
to-
Yeah, so
I wanted
where we disagree, it's not a disagreement. I
with
think
me and you or him?
me and you. I don't think it's a disagreement. I think it's just
a different perspective.
yes. And I will try to explain this to you. There's the individual story. So as a man, how can I be better? How can I make my family's life better? How can I make I don't think that can scale. I think that systems are important, right? And I gave an example yesterday on our podcast, the last episode, of Lee Kuan Yew, and explaining how hard
Singaporean
they had to fight to change that system. I think there's no escaping. China is the same way. I have this debate on Twitter all the time. The Chinese people who died under the great leap forward for farming due to Mao's policies, they're not different from the Chinese people today that are entrepreneurs. What changed is the governance changed, and then incentives became, they opened up to join all these things. Incentives changed, and then they became who we see today. The potential is always going to be there. The system has to change, right? And some people have to drive that change.
So you've answered we're agreeing.
A few
the same thing.
people have to drive the change.
So you
A few
said
people.
the same thing. So
Systemically.
when you're talking about systems, who creates the systems?
So
When you talk about
so that's what me and you. So that's what me and you start.
I think I'm beginning to understand the English now.
Like I said, I used an example of a good friend, a brother. He's actively thinking of ways and bringing people together.
Yes.
To have a discussion. So when we as a VC now, what we do is that we bring our founders together and we collectively try to think. We one of the major conversations that we have with them is that, how do you love on your employees? I don't think anybody was having that conversation with
That's
me
fair.
when I was doing it.
Shout out
Can you-
to our faith, yeah, because
Can
that's
you
where I
imagine
learned that. You're correct.
a whole 2-hour conversation with a multi-millionaire who is our managing, one of our co-founders, somebody who has built billion-dollar businesses listed on, coming to you and telling you that the most fundamental thing that he thinks is the success of his business. You are talking to a room of 30 or so founders or more, telling them the number one thing is love your employees. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
If they start to, and then people now start to ask specific questions. Oh, one of my employees did this. How do we? And then we're all collectively coming up with an answer.
Yes.
Do you know that is 30 companies that could be transformed in that instant?
Of course.
And this is a conversation that we have every 2 weeks. So if you're talking about systems and policies, if Maiwa has ambitions to become a politician and become a governor, what room are you circling around? I have friends that have been circling around many rooms in the government space, but they have no ambition to transform anything.
Right.
Their ambition is to get there and live that.
Empower their own pockets.
So
these are the fundamental
So
issues.
the fundamental thing is that the people that, I swear, if you met me a few years ago and you mentioned anything about government, the conversation ends.
Yes.
But as I'm seeing looking at how things are evolving, if I've told myself either I get involved or I help somebody that is getting involved with every resource.
So there we align.
Yes, we align 100%. But the conversation you must be having, you cannot go and support if your brother is not thinking about change and transformation, and he's running for governor, and Dikpo is running for governor, and you have seen his memo, his manifesto, his character, his track record, and you back your brother, you are worse than the problem.
That's exactly, I agree with you.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So essentially, we are all on the same page.
I think it's just
the system is only driven by the people can only be transformed. Let's even say by the renewing of their mind, but that they can actually survive and thrive if they challenge the current status quo that is not working. But no, the first time I landed, and I hope he doesn't watch this video, but one of my cousins told me, what do you need to do to get ahead in business? He said, get a nice car and hire fine women in your office. Like, this is me coming from America where
merit based.
So
things work.
Yeah, well.
As a young guy, my own mind, I was just thinking, if that were the case, that I would not get a contract because of the car I drive, I said I don't want. I'll go back.
But what he said.
But the guy was like, Baba, everybody was agreeing with what he was saying. I still drive the same car I've had since I moved back.
Wow.
And
the car takes you from point A to point B.
Entered into doors that people that have been here all their lives and have not been able to enter. All of it by the grace of God. But just to tie back into this is that for the longest time I didn't have purpose. I was just doing things because they came up. And I think a lot of people, necessity has driven them to end up where they are. As somebody who sees startups, hundreds of startups weekly, and great people, lovely hearts, but necessity has driven them to do that. And so, like I was telling you earlier, before I would have told people, oh, Japa, don't Japa. Now, I've gone to the phase that if you are talking to me and I'm asking you, who is sending you there? Are you going there because of necessity? If that is the case, I wish you well. But if you are telling me you have, Paul had dual citizenship. Dual citizenship is not a new thing.
Yeah.
But what purpose did it serve? And if you were not asking that question before you got there, start asking now.
Yeah.
So that you will know, why has God sent you to this place, or why has He even created the necessity?
My dad will love you so much.
To push you out there. There was a necessity that
the general
Abraham to Egypt.
Yeah.
Has God created the necessity for you to go, or for you to withstand the trials and figure out your problem there? Some people, necessity is to move and to migrate. Some other people, it is to test you and to test your balance. But everything ties into a purpose. There are many politicians now that are in Nigerian American politicians that were born in America, but their parents were Nigerian,
Right.
and they are serving in politics in the US. I'm trusting that one of these days we would engage with some of them and start to think
And make
through,
those connections.
but we even have great minds here already.
Yes.
But I would say that I wish I knew. I started to hear little from God, I would say, before I moved back, but it was drowned in the flesh, in like
The
worldly
desires
activities
of
and worldly
business,
desires.
making money.
So it is now that I've come to realize that I have a purpose, and for the short time I have left on earth, it is to figure out
Get
how
closer and closer.
to walk that path and not deviate from that path.
All right, so let's see some quick facts about
Very
the
quick.
US.
I have a lighthearted question for you. It's not lighthearted, it's tough, but it's a big deviation from this one. Do you have what is your craziest driver story?
What is my craziest?
Logistics story with a driver.
I don't have
When you
one.
were doing.
I don't
Yeah,
have one. I
like-
mean, like
crazy.
like literally, like people die in that job. You know that.
Oh, I know.
So like that would be the most extreme. Like there's just like everything is crazy. Like
Like
there's
one moment
I
you just
can
spoke to the
give you
driver,
20
and
that
the
are-
next moment driver is
Just give
dead.
me a random one that was just.
like you've had you can have trucks worth millions disappear. Like anything can happen.
Oh, I know.
You can have
I
you
know.
can wake up in the morning and get a call that
no,
a
it's-
truck ran over a human being.
And then what do you do?
You have
You
to
call the family,
go and help the
figure
family.
it
You
out.
have to
Yeah.
intervene. You have to do whatever you can.
Yeah.
It's not a. Have
It
you been,
happens,
have
it
you
happens.
been to truck
Yeah, it
parks
happens,
in
it
Nigeria?
Not really.
You call the
So
family,
it's not,
you
Not much.
you have to help.
I mean,
as
I've
much
been to
as you
Costain
can.
once or twice for that.
Yes,
but
yes.
like-
all,
the burial,
all
send
kinds
the
of
family.
things.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy. That's why I asked him because this is crazy.
But
It's
they
not,
don't-
now in hindsight, it's like that's a day
Day-
in life.
day in
I mean,
the
not-
life
it wasn't
right
like
now.
people were dying,
Yes.
everybody like.
But this,
One
yeah.
thing will
We
shall
have
happen.
to try to
Accidents.
to the point where we're even trying to get them health insurance, family insurance, but they didn't even understand that.
You have to even.
So
Yeah.
it's
crazy.
like there are many of those days.
It's crazy because even those jobs are crazy even for Americans. Like,
Oh yeah, it is.
so that's how you know that Nigeria is really crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
Logistics.
I did Atlanta to Tennessee to I think Alabama, a couple of states like that. Yeah, I saw accidents morning, afternoon.
When did
night.
you go?
Like
Like what month? Like what
it
was the
raining,
weather?
yeah,
Was it
like,
cold?
It was
raining?
cold and rain. It was raining. That's why I be.
Yeah.
Next time
From
when you go,
the
stop
night-
at
from the
stop at-
night
stop at
I
the-
landed
stop
in
at the truck
Atlanta.
park and experience
I
it.
experienced it, right? I was seeing accidents all through.
Yeah.
Whether it was a car,
But
Car-
that's also
car-
because we were traveling interstates. Within states, you won't see that many.
but like in America, I think the stat is that the biggest deaths are caused by accidents, isn't it? Not
Well,
even,
yes,
not
but
even
like,
the flu.
when
I
you
remember
were-
because during Corona, that stat was like
Yes.
flying around. So like it's a norm for them that they don't really do okay.
Yeah, it's when it's interstate.
Yeah.
Yes, you see a lot of.
But yeah, I want to just hit some quick facts before we wrap up. So some people do not know, but I mean our listeners need to know. America obviously has the largest international student population, over 1 million students, and obviously Nigeria is part of the top 10 that sends students to America. Obviously, we have massive Nigerian diaspora, over 400,000 Nigerians living across states, like obviously Texas, shout out to Bayawa, New York, shout out to
Texas,
Ife, Maryland, and the likes. And obviously, you know that we always talk about how we're like this most successful race that is, I think, black race in America, like our
So,
doctors,
so-
everything,
yeah,
general,
educated.
like
Of course,
most
of course.
educated and
It's
all that.
educated.
Visa policy shifts in 2025. Obviously, we talked about single entry in our first episode. The guy is saying you can't get more than 3 months right now, and they've given us 60 days to amend. Otherwise, we're going to be banned. But I think something like that. That's
We'll
the
get
more.
banned, most likely.
But we're not supposed to be like on that tier A with like Sudan and co now.
No, we're
But-
close
but
because we have
we'll
all
see
the
what
stats.
happens.
So that's a story for a different.
Obviously, social media checks. So those of you who like to,
People like me,
Twitter
they're going
say-
to give me a lot of problems. when
I mean,
when
you don't have a
when
problem.
get
Like
to the
Canadian season, you can
Doesn't
go
matter,
anywhere,
they're
you can
holding
go
different
anywhere. They
people.
won't stop you.
They're holding Canadians now.
Okay, so obviously home to Ivy League schools, obviously Michigan, those of us who love American football. I went to Tennessee, they're also big on American football. I mean, that Tennessee has a
Every state is
100,000
big on
seater.
American
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you. That they're bigger
Nigeria
than even
does not
American,
have-
even
I
like
think our the
EPL
biggest
stadiums.
stadium is
Harvard,
Michigan.
yeah, I think it's Michigan, the Wolverines.
That's the biggest stadium.
Yeah, so Harvard, MIT, I mean,
Ann Arbor.
a lot of beautiful schools in America. America is
America
home
is
to
just so
over
big,
3,000 colleges and
Just
universities.
so big.
It remains like the best place to go learn. obviously, for me, one of the things that I think that I will never change my mind on is don't send your child to America if the child is not like mature. I would ask you that question, but like I don't know when you went there, but like if the child is not mature, and even when they even have a bit of maturity, like the system has a way of automatically influencing you.
You just let God,
Let God help, right?
Because I'm telling you, some of my experience, before you go, I don't want to delay you. Some of my friends turned out worse, like being in Nigeria. Like a lot worse.
Than even
In
being
fact,
there, right?
in,
So
fact
it's like
in terms of drug abuse, I don't think I've seen
Yeah,
people
more
that the abuse was crazy here. Like I don't have friends that I know that like had
You mean Nigeria?
drug abuse
Yeah.
issues abroad. Like the ones that my friends that are here, the ones that had the issue, like the big, had to go to rehab for a couple of years, kind of stuff.
Obviously, the most popular opportunity for Nigerians who school in America right now. You said you applied for the H-1B visa. Now they're talking about these super alien visas, particularly focused on STEM and tech.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you are doing anything in technology today,
You'll be good to go.
you'll be good to go in America right now. If you're also really special in like the creatives, like culture and arts, that's the place to go. Yeah, so that's that about quick facts about the US. I still have some questions for Ife.
He's like short on time. This is a big guy. You gotta let him go. So
No.
run through.
I mean, what do you think about this single entry? I mean, before you go, if you are a student, you get the length of your visa. If you went for visiting, sometimes they will give you 5 years. Now they are saying 3 months single entry. It's really even similar to what Schengen has been doing for years now, because that's the funny thing about Nigeria, right? We make a lot of noise when things hurt us without realizing that it didn't just start. Like right now, my first Schengen visa, they gave me 10 days single entry. The second one, they gave me 30 days single entry. The third one, they gave me 45 days multiple entry. Now, why do I need to travel to a Schengen area twice in 45 days? And for every visa, I probably spent in Naira 400 to 500K. Nobody's saying anything about that. All of a sudden, Donald Trump says, oh, guys.
It's polarizing.
Yeah.
So,
I think you guys are focused more on the guy and not the reality of what immigration
no, but Trump
really
is going to make it allowed. Trust me.
No. I mean, he did it
We will
the
be
first
there
4
very
years.
soon.
But I doubt. What do you think, as somebody who lived there, what do you think about this policy? What do you think about America? Like, where do you think America is going right now?
So because of the whole crackdown, I'm not a US citizen, so
Yeah.
I'll be very careful about what I say. I haven't fully formed an opinion about it. I think that some of it, like Maiwa said, is our own doing and undoing. Many of the countries I've traveled, I went to one remote area in Spain a few years ago, and I saw Nigerians, undocumented Nigerians, and I'm like, how?
I made one at
How
like
did we get
was it Burger
here?
King or McDonald's?
Through the boat.
She was so pleasant.
And when I
some people go there on like this Schengen, and that's the problem. That's why that was the crackdown.
So
like,
it's like
you go on
it's a-
Schengen and they
it's
just
a
never
crackdown.
leave.
The good thing about I don't want to use the word the good thing, but the thing about Nigeria is that while there's so much bad, there's so much good.
Yeah.
So
I
you
mean,
cannot count Nigeria out. Trump.
Shout out to the Super Falcons.
You can't count us. Count us out. And I think that things will change. I think things will evolve. I think that I think this had to happen. I don't know how long it will last, but I think that we need to tighten our own systems. They need to tighten their own systems.
If you don't regulate your system, these guys will help you. I don't disagree at all.
There's just nothing we can do. We're just faced with. We need to do better.
There are pencils in the hand of the creator.
Yes, so we need to do better. And the country, like you said, the system needs to evolve to, when you are unemployed in the US, you get an unemployment benefit check. During COVID, my wife, who was a permanent resident then, would get a check, because she was unemployed.
interesting.
No, I mean, just a COVID relief check.
Permanent resident is different, obviously. So like she has like the green card, or
Yeah, green card. Sorry, yes, back then.
oh, okay.
Yes.
So back then, does it expire?
No, I mean now
When
she
she
has
was
a
there, she's
transition.
now in
Yes.
Nigeria, obviously. Yes, okay.
So like there's a system that just enables people.
Okay.
And it's going to take years for us to figure it out. But at least now I'm more confident that there are people that are having those conversations, that are losing sleep to ensure that it gets better. So I'm happy and I'm sad.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a citizen, so my next visa appointment will probably, if things
You
don't
did-
change.
I get.
So, but I think that I'm not focused on the problem. I'm trying to focus on this solution collectively with people.
I personally just want us to be realistic, right? America didn't start this.
No. Of course
Right.
not. I mean, of course.
We
Have you been
started
to
it.
the? Have you been to
the
parts
EU,
of the UK recently?
the
Like,
EU is.
wouldn't
I'm
leave-
expecting the UK to follow suit, but for some reason, I think we don't have a good
I mean,
relationship.
they kind
with
of
them.
have already done.
We have-
They've put a
yeah,
lot of
they
things
put
in
a
place.
lot
But they
of
put it-
things
yes,
in place.
yeah,
so,
they have done that.
I think that what we need to do, which is what, like I said, innovation is. I have startup founders that they had no prospects, nothing. Startup employees, that people that
Employees.
work in startups,
Yeah.
and some of them, they took a course
Lives are changing
online,
fast.
and these guys are making more money than
Than bankers.
than bankers,
yeah.
than everything. These guys just picked up, like, if we keep innovating as we are, there will be a huge and this Gen Z generation,
right?
they
Yeah,
are not
they're
taking
savvy,
no
yeah.
for an answer.
Yeah.
They are we would just, whatever our parents tell us to do, we
Yeah.
will do, and we'll, if they say study medicine. But you see a Gen Z that says he wants to do fine arts, and he'll go and do it. He'll put the nose ring, put everything, and he'll get it done, and he will thrive because the environment is also enabling it. Imagine us putting nose ring when I was in
Who
college,
born you?
So, I don't think people even understand what's coming. It's a better
tsunami is
Nigeria,
coming.
but people are always looking at what's bad.
Yeah,
but we're not
yeah.
looking at what is
Or even
what
the
is great.
or even the opportunities. And
so many.
I mean, we should probably shout out the Super Falcons because obviously Mission X, and it ties
Even
into
our
this
entire
because
sporting.
also that's why
everything's changing.
because innovation even there. I'm told I think 10 of the 11 players all play abroad or something funny like that.
This should not be a good thing, by the way.
Well, but I mean,
but we have to make the
that
work we
goes
have.
into like what we've got. We need better coaching, better systems. We don't have enough training grounds.
and they will push us to those directions.
The MPFL just announced in their AGM that they are talking about VAR systems for stadiums. These are stadiums that don't even have good enough grass, either synthetic or natural. And obviously, most of our girls, shout out to Rash for Christ, our captain. Shout out to the president for giving them all those things. Hopefully,
give them their money.
they will give them their money.
Immediately.
They will.
I'm
Two
told-
more questions, Deepo.
I'm told that CAF gave us $3.5 million, so it's not like the money is already sort of there. It's just how they share
but
it.
the one that he gave them is a gift from the government.
I think it's giving them
not
the
part of
3.5. The 3.5 is for the country, it's not for the players. But that
It's
we'll
for the
figure it out.
NFF.
And that's why I said that. So that's where the money is going to come from. The NFF is under the federal government.
Anyway.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But my point is that
Two more questions.
my point,
yeah, give me the questions.
my
Don't-
point
don't
here
delay.
is that we now have to take our innovators abroad because the whole Japa syndrome, like
Yeah.
these girls, some of them were born there, right? Shout out to Ashley Plumtree, Aluzie,
Aluzie.
but like some people we have to send our girls, our boys
Okoronko.
there. They have to go for better coaching, and then we now have to go scout them back to come back and play for us
That's
because
a big
obviously,
thing that me and you have to discuss actually.
yeah. So
Ask him the questions quickly so he can.
So my question is, before you go, obviously you touched on Michigan, Henry Ford, Adelphi. What one thing did you learn in any of these universities that you think has shaped your career? Like what one thing just was like,
Learn no experience.
yeah,
I think it's the most fundamental thing is still relationships and network. If you go, I was a very quiet and a shy kid.
you're still quiet.
My wife would disagree.
Always.
Shout out to my
So,
sis.
I was a very shy kid, so I wasn't easy. I didn't make friends easily, but I had relationships. It was weird. I don't know if I think it was God that orchestrated, but literally, like, I had relationships with the head of like the department in the schools, like the admission
key
department,
relationships.
international, and it was just organic. It was just people that I would just greet them very jovially, and they would smile back, and I would be greeting them, and then they would invite me, and then we'll talk. But then when I got into serious situations, which I cannot talk about
I
here,
understand.
it was these people that I would call. Like, and they would help. And I'm talking of I'm not talking of like
if
like
you are just
small
running nuggets, so
situation.
your network is like your net
You
worth
can't
truly.
go to the university and just
not-
your professors,
not
your
build
classmates.
relationships.
Like some of my professors still reach out to me at the university, and you just never know. There are many experiences. Even when I've seen people get out of tough immigration binds because of the kinds of relationships they have.
Yeah.
That is the
That
whole.
one
Like,
is-
like
a
I
real-
told you earlier, I'm a nomad. If I go to Japan, I'll
survive.
have a lot of friends. If I
Yeah.
go to now, and I'm not making friends with my age mates, I'm making friends with older people, young, like, so find a way to break out of that shell and just ask people, how are you doing? It was literally basically, how are you doing? How's your day? Oh, hello. And I would mention them by name.
Yeah.
And people, that thing is
What's what I
very
like.
big.
I was talking to somebody about, I can't remember who in the office, where I was just saying that, particularly those of us who say heavy is here that wears the crown. I was you and I that was talking about that. I said, sometimes as a man, you only really need somebody to tell you how are you.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was you maybe 15, 20 years plus ago.
Yes.
That's what that professor or that big man sort of needed. Like at
Yes.
this level,
Yeah.
I probably don't need anybody to give me any gift, any other thing. But
It's not for
sometimes
gift. You
just
never know.
Do you understand? Just you just want. You don't know everything that I'm
Be nice,
thinking about. Be nice,
kind,
be cordial to
polite.
people.
Look at Deepo was saying earlier that when he met me, I was too busy and everything, which it was. I didn't have a lot of context about what he was trying to do then, but we still maintained a cordial relationship. So now that I'm disturbing him, and it's true, I am disturbing him. I never imagined a world. Maybe in all the people I've met in my life, there may be only 3 people that I can say I can't call, but it's because I messed up, not because they messed up. But I've always been intentional about
Guys, relationship is
calling
key.
and checking up how I
Your network is everything.
from even my employees that I worked with.
Yeah, you still have a good relationship
If
with
they
them.
call me today, I don't even remember some of the things that happened, but just that some of them have now gone on to be big in other places, and I can call them and say, "Yeah, I'm big in this startup. I need a favor from this startup," and they can reach out to me. Same thing in the US. Same thing in Japan. Be polite. If people are not smiling, I walk up to somebody and say, "Why are you not smiling? What's going on?" It changes everything.
All right.
And that's it for me.
So I want to talk about top 3 things that people should know before they go to the US. Obviously, I think each of us should drop one. I'll probably drop more than one. But I don't know if you've had this, but I'll say reach out to labor education. I think the first thing that you need to have is just guidance and counseling. Like when you want to jackpot, don't just go anywhere because
I'm thinking of that question.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
You don't just go anywhere because you think you want to, or shout out to our parents, but like don't just send out your children to a place because you think you have the means or that's what's best for them. And you guys should know a lot of this because your dad forced you to go to, did I say force, or he encouraged you to go to Adelpha. By our story, if you heard, he got sent to Florida for engineering and didn't, so that's like the most critical thing, like guidance and counseling. The second thing is obviously funding opportunities. Like plan your funding from the beginning to the end as best as God will help you. Whether it is daddy has money and mommy has money, or it's a community coming together, or education funding opportunities like scholarships, which again, reach out to Labor Education, they can help you do that, or get funding opportunities from like Passage and all our partners like Empower who are investing in education, and educating the world. But what one thing will you say that people should know before, in hindsight, for you?
So I was reading my Bible this morning and I saw that God was giving the Israelites the measurement for a land that they had not entered. He said, you don't understand. If you read the Bible very well, Canaan was inhabited by people.
Yeah, it wasn't empty.
It wasn't empty.
Yeah.
And God had meted out the land.
Assured them that it was theirs.
And assured them that it was theirs. So the number one thing is to know Jesus and the Word. Anything else outside that can only last you for so long. Every other information. I think the world, ChatGPT has given us access to all kinds of information.
True
that you
or
have,
not true, but it's there.
But it cannot give you that
that foresight
that
is
comes
there
from heaven.
Yeah.
So when you know Jesus intimately, I was reading the scripture this morning and I was like, I don't understand all of these things. But as you were talking, I'm like, but as I was writing down my notes, I was like, if God could give them the measurement for a land that they've not entered into, told them how they will prosper, told them where that this part is milk and he literally measured it cubit by cubit. So my tomorrow can actually be planned. My next year, my next 5 years. And that really has changed it for me.
I feel like Ife is throwing a bullet into Maiwa, and I don't know if Maiwa relates, because Maiwa was sharing something so apt that God did for his dad. Do you remember?
Yes.
Like, Ife is talking about something we talked about just yesterday
the only
that God
way.
did for your dad that you're now enjoying.
We had so many stories of
Your
that.
dad,
Even me myself, I have so many.
So
yeah, that's so apt. Without even him knowing how many years ago. And yeah, that's
so this generation,
that's something.
And all of us that are still alive, I think there's been a lot of disconnect between our
faith
intimacy
and what we
with
want
the
to
word
do.
of God
Yeah.
and our faith and direction. But I've come to realize in the last few years of following him that I actually don't have any problem in this life. I'm the one that every problem
I say it
problem
over
is a
again.
man-made
Every problem is me.
Yes.
No, every
And,
problem is me.
I pray that God can help us point people to Jesus, because when they see it, they actually don't need anything else. You don't need anything else.
You know, before
But
my
that's where I'll stop.
before my wife says his own, but like when I was sharing with you guys the visa denial that I had in the US, like in Abuja, just like you're saying, obviously I do my quiet time every day and all that. And usually before I do something, I'm always trying to check with God, because I don't want any of those, had I known, I tried it. I knew that I wanted to be in that US for my own benefits. It wasn't God. And if I would know, because I was carrying the fair along that time, and I knew. So like, my boss is going to the US. There was a leadership conference. Obviously, I wanted to experience that. You know, I'm not even keen on going to the US for anything per se, but obviously the prestige and how it brings people together. And I shall found my way of putting my name, you know, there, me and Iwe on that matter. And it was always a struggle. So when I got denied, God was like, okay, cool. Another funny thing about all my denials I've ever had, I would always have a revelation about when I would get that visa. So I had the revelation, and in that revelation, it wasn't the Abuja visa center, and it was not. So in my mind, I'm like, I want this visa. Actually, I got denied. 2 days before I got my US visa, I was in a space where it was everything I saw in that revelation that was happening. So by the time I entered the embassy in Lagos, they had this thing called special list. So I think that, let me not cast that, come and pay me for consultation, but like they have this thing whereby you can sort of almost know if they're going to give you the visa, but we'll not cast that one. You know, and I just knew that I was going to get the visa, and it was exactly how I saw that revelation last year. But that one is key. So good.
So I think do your research. Always on your own. I think, you know, a lot of
Just
agents in
listen to
Nigeria,
people.
your friends want to help you, call this guy, call that guy. Do your own
No,
research.
but let them call Japa Partners.
Yeah, call Japa Partners, but also
we'll plug them
Japa
well.
is telling you what they're telling you.
But we
Also,
would also tell you to go do your
do your
research.
own
That's what
research.
I always
Always
say.
do your
That
research.
yes,
America is very open.
Your research.
And just even every other country, say,
do your research. It doesn't have to be
You
America.
need
It
to
doesn't have
know-
to be the UK.
Yes, you need to know what you're doing. Ask a lot of questions. You know, Americans are very open. So just do your research.
Awesome. It was an awesome episode. If
it was.
second,
We kept him here a long
enjoyed.
time.
Yeah, I told him now, because I know, and I'm sure he will be back, because he always has a lot to say. But obviously, if you're applying to Japa, reach out to Japa Partners. They sponsor the show, so we have to plug them in. Our biggest guys.
Thanks so much, Japa
I remain
Partners.
king of Japa.
Thank you, Japa Partners.
Thank you, Ife, for the time. And the flight has landed. If you didn't do,
It didn't.
you didn't do.